Right now, a lot of people are experiencing heightened anxiety around traveling.
Yeah, very public incidents that have happened involving planes, crashes as like, all been in the headlines. So we want to bring in our 9 News mental health expert, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, to talk more about that. You talk about anxiety. There are people who experience these things who you perfectly well understand their anxiety. There are other people who just see it or read about it and they get it too.
Well, certainly they can secondhand in this way. One of the things that's really interesting about the way this younger generation is processing this is they go to social media and TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. So they put it out there. And there was a story last week about this woman who was on a flight. She was very nervous about taking off, I'm sure she was a young woman. And she looks out the window and there's this person writing out "safe flight" in the snow. He's shuffling, he works for the airline, and he wrote it so perfectly. And she recorded him doing it and then put it in fast motion. And before you know it, this thing's gone viral.
Right.
And millions of people are commenting about this because the anxiety is really high just from watching it or knowing that you have to travel for work or for a vacation coming up. It's getting people more worked up.
Right, and let's be fair. I mean, until this accident at Reagan National, we hadn't had an accident in 17, 18 years, so It's not common. But there are some real psychological effects that people experience and nerves. So how do you calm yourself down? You know, short of, you don't want to have to go in there medicated or something.
Right, although many people do.
Yeah.
Actually, many people do. I guess I would know that in my field because there really are a lot of people that year round, no matter what's going on, have a fear of anxiety. And really what the stem of that is the lack of control. It's the one thing, even though statistically they can say you're more likely to get into a car accident, you still feel like
it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't.
If you're suffering.
But I'm driving, right?
Not in the moment.
Not in the moment, but it's the control thing. So what you focus on, what you can control. So from my perspective, a psychological one, I work with people on mindfulness, being intentional, being on time, not rushing, because all those little stressors actually add up and make the flight even worse if you had a rough morning. So there's that piece, really the deep breathing and the visualizing. But I also asked my friend who's a pilot, and I said, what would be your tips? And he came up with these tips, and I thought they were really good. So the first one he said was, look at the board when you walk into the airport and look at how many flights are on there and just think to yourself, that's just in the US. That's just today. This is so rare. There are thousands and thousands of flights every day, just as a reminder. Then he said, everything we do is checked, watched, monitored for safety. And so just to be comforted that there really are a lot of safety measures in place, reminding yourself of those kinds of things. So basically, there's a piece where you say, it can go one of two ways. I can let my anxiety take over and let everything just kind of keep snowballing, or I can take control of my breath and my thoughts. And so when you focus on something, I might say that to someone next time, walk in, I want you to look at the boards.
Yeah.
Right? It's like redirecting. It's almost distracting yourself by doing that. And the same types of tips if you have kids. If you're on there and kids are watching you and they're like, should we be nervous? You know, it's that reminder.
They'll key off of you.
Yes.
I always think we're lucky here in Denver as far as that, because I always think the worst part of the flight is dealing with the construction at DIA and the train. Once you get through Kim's voice on the train.
Telling you you're delaying the departure of the train? Yeah.
Actually, the flight is the easiest part of it. It's because the
for
rest
you,
of it is,
right?
Well, yeah.
For you.
I've traveled. I am an easy traveler, but I've traveled with people who have a tough time doing it, and it spreads.
Yes, it's contagious.
That anxiety is contagious, especially you talk about with children. It's something that if you can manage it a little bit better, it certainly will help your kids a lot too. So hopefully we get some easier flights for people and people can relax and maybe use some of those skills to get ready to go. Yeah. Good to see you as always.
Sometimes the pilot's voice helps. They're good too. They calm people down.
And the flight attendants.
Yeah, and the flight attendants are good. They're good
famous
people.
Pilot voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does work.
Yes.
Thanks, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler.
Thank you.